Let's check out Trump's little interview with Newsmax Finnerty.
Today, the jobs numbers came out this morning. I guess they were lower than expected, but you've announced that you're firing your a Biden appointee, the head of the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, her name Dr. Erica McIntarfer. Tell us about what was going on here.
You fudged the numbers.
It's a Biden appointee, and we've had problems in the past, and we had problems even before the election. You remember those wonderful results that were put out just before the election, and everybody said, where did they come from? Then I think they adjusted it after the election, and we had some difficulties with her, and there have been a lot of questions, and we fired her because we didn't believe the numbers today. Even though interest rates are too high, we have a terrible head of the Fed. He keeps interest rates too high, and I could understand that, but I don't believe those numbers. I think because we're doing so well, and we fired her. This is not something from just now. This was before the election, where she got, meaning Kamala. We thought it was Biden, but it turned out being Kamala, where they got very, very strong numbers. I said, what's this all about? And they adjusted them, and then later on they adjust them, I guess, downward. But we don't want that. We want straight numbers. I was thinking this morning when I saw the numbers, I said, who makes these numbers anyway? I never gave it much thought other than before the election, but it didn't work out too well. For them, I won the election. So maybe people don't believe it or whatever, but I was saying to myself, I wonder who does this. And when I checked, I said, this person is very suspect to me. So we fired.
So the accusation is this person was essentially cooking the books and the numbers are not accurate.
Well, I think there's some strange things going on because just before the election, they came out with these great numbers. And I said, I don't believe those numbers. They weren't good. And then I believe they had to do some correcting a little bit after the election. But no, we don't want that. We don't want to take any chances. We don't want to play any games.
I want to ask you about Jerome Powell, and you posted this on Truth Social, sir, just recently. Jerome Powell, too late Powell, has done it again. He's too late, too angry, too stupid, too political to have a job as Fed chair. Why don't you remove him?
They say it would disturb the market. I would remove him in a heartbeat, but they say it would disturb the market, and he gets out in 7 or 8 months, and I'll put somebody else in. But
is it a possibility that you remove him? Because you have cause. To me, that $700 million disaster down the road at the Fed headquarters is cause to remove somebody.
He's building a building for $2.9 billion, a renovation for $2.9 billion, the Fed. And it's not that intricate inside to start off with. I do a lot of that.
Right.
I built a very successful hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue as a renovation. The old post office. I know more about renovating buildings or building buildings than like anybody maybe. And I will tell you, he's got $2.9 billion that they're spending in this thing, and really more than that if you include the whole project. And it's way over budget by hundreds of millions of dollars. And he shouldn't be doing that. It's almost like he's building a palace for himself, but he's not going to be there much longer anyway. That's the good news.
Just like they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So
no, the Fed
I'm
rate
better.
is too high.
I know what I'm doing.
Interest rates are too high. And
too late, pal.
Jerome Powell stays in place for now.
Well, it's very disruptive if you fire, so I would say most likely, yeah.
Okay. The markets today are up and down. Today is tariff day. Today was an important day, but you've had another incredible week that doesn't get the attention it probably should. There were several A-list events this week. The GDP numbers were great. Right. We had a surplus in June. Inflation is, I think, 2.4%. What's your message to Americans who might be concerned about paying more, perhaps even in the short term, for things that they need?
Well, before the message, I have to say that I think that these numbers were incorrect today. Not that they were horrible. I've seen much worse numbers than this, but I think that these numbers were incorrect today because nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw the smaller numbers not only announced, but going back and restating.
He wants us to win more. If we
can. That was the bigger numbers.
Just do your job, Mr. President. You gotta win more. Give us what we want.
We have energy way down.
Also, release the goddamn information, you motherfucker.
It's way down from what it was. They had the highest inflation, really, essentially, in the history of our country, they say 48 years. I would say it's much beyond 48
Oh,
years.
we just got to get Congress to sign. Shut the fuck up and just release it. What do you mean?
They left office, it was 1.4%.
That's correct. And now we have it down again. We brought it down. But prices
hide information,
down.
yeah.
When I hear the Democrats, they come out with sound bites. They say, prices are up under Trump. No, they're way down. I brought them way down. Even eggs. You remember the first week, Rob, I went in and they said, eggs are up 4 or 5 times. It was like crazy what was happening with eggs. Don't buy eggs. I fixed that, and I fixed it rapidly before Easter. And
so basically, he's just
prices
talking
are
about
actually way
the
down.
overall
Prices are down for groceries. They're down for energy, oil. You see what's happening with oil.
Yeah, they were upset
we have some
about
states where it's $1.99 a gallon. More typically $2.33 a gallon.
I kept hammering that for like, I don't know, like a month, right? For almost a month.
Of the Biden administration.
At least 3 weeks.
He took our energy policy, which was unbelievable. He ended it. And then he tried to bring it back.
Right, you can tell that. Right, you can tell that they get repetitive after a while. Right. After after a week, it's like, okay, we get it. You're saying the same shit. Are you gonna move on to something else? No, you're gonna say it the next week too. But yeah, there you have it. Abolish the Federal Reserve. Get rid of too late, Powell. All right, on to the next. Trump reacts to new Russiagate bombshell findings.
Emails, Mr. President, suggest essentially that Hillary Clinton personally approved the Russia hoax.
With Obama.
With Barack Obama. And my question is she finally going to pay for what she did, or does she get
like
a
he's
pass
just like, yeah, sure.
So, we had her, and I had her right under the sights.
Jesus.
And I told the people, look, you can't do this to a president's wife, an ex-president, and she was Secretary of State, but you can't do this to the wife of a president. And
do you still feel that way?
Well, I'll tell you how I feel about it in a second. I remember I was at a rally, and it was after the election, and they said, lock her up, and I said, no, look, we won, just relax. And I didn't do what other people would have done, what they would have done. And then they went after me, and they meant it. I said, you know, it's amazing. I always felt that
yeah, during his campaign, Trump was obviously just joking.
I totally left her
I mean, she did fuck up. Like, she did some heinous
things. For what?
Right?
And then I come in.
It wasn't... Right, I don't
to
the level of locking her up.
She
didn't. Right, it
didn't
deserve that extent, but she did fuck up. She did leak information that she wasn't supposed to do.
And now they have it in black and white.
So it was like,
no, I think they should pay a price.
It's really bad.
How
By the way,
also it just
could be the biggest scandal.
It just shed more light on why you shouldn't trust the Clintons.
You know, that scandal has continued
because it's just what happened. The Clintons have been embroiled in so many scandals so far.
They're no good at anything other than some form.
Not only that, but they have the fundraiser
in your
bullshit.
First term. And I think about these names: Brennan, Comey, Clapper,
the worst,
Hillary Clinton.
All bad.
How directly do you think Barack Obama was
Totally,
involved?
he knew about it. We have it cold. He has it in writing.
No, the Clinton Foundation.
You could almost say that he was almost more the mastermind. He heard what she was doing.
Any of these presidents that have some sort of foundation in their name, yeah, those are suspicious as fuck.
They knew the Russia thing was fake. I'm not great with Russia.
I think even Trump has one.
Don't forget the pipeline.
Just because he's a business entrepreneur.
Nobody ever even knew they were building a pipeline.
Until he became president.
So, and when Biden came in, by the way, one of the first things he did was approve it. I had it ended. Now, that was the biggest economic development job they've ever done. That was going to all over Europe, and I ended it. No, I was the opposite. And I'll tell you what, for that to have gone on, it's one of the great scandals, I think, in the history of our country. I know it is.
Are you willing to take this all the way to indictments?
Well, it's up to Pam Bondi, who's doing a terrific job, and she'll have to work with law enforcement to see what she wants to do. And I'm not giving her advice one way or the other.
Okay.
I can tell you, though, I read like you read, and I read things that are unbelievable that just came out yesterday.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Now, they've been coming out over the last number of months.
Right.
But what came out over the last few days is incredible.
There you have it. So basically, he's not telling Pam Bondi to do certain things, and is just allowing Pam Bondi to do basically what she wants, which is kind of lame, to be honest. Because it's like, well, I don't know who Pam Bondi is, and she just seems like a fucking loser, lame. And she doesn't put on the pressure, right? Too laid back. There's not enough hangings. Alright, what do we got here? Trump speaks out on Epstein files. Talk of Diddy and pardon.
Ask you, Mr. President, just about pardons. I've got 3 names. Let me ask you, Mr. President, just about pardons. I've got 3 names for you. And the first one, look, the media didn't care about this story when Joe Biden was in office. Suddenly they care about this story again. Ghislaine Maxwell serving 20 years in prison for sex trafficking. Is clemency on the table for her in exchange for testimony?
I'm allowed to do it, but nobody's asked me to do it. I know nothing about it. I don't know anything about the case. But I know I have the right to do it. I have the right to give pardons. I've given pardons to people before.
Yeah.
But nobody's even asked me to do it.
Sean Diddy Combs?
Right.
Would you consider pardoning him?
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent.
Yes.
I don't know what they do. He's still in jail or something. But
he's still
celebrating a victory. But he seems, I guess, it wasn't as good as a victory. Probably.
I think what the issue with Diddy was because of what went on, right? And people still feel he's a danger, so that's why they're probably still keeping him in jail, even though he's already got a sentence and everything. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll well. They still have yeah, I don't know. They said they were gonna do more. They were gonna look into it more too. Like I'm pretty sure they're supposed to look into it sometime this month.
I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great, and seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well, but when I ran for office, he was very hostile.
He said some not so nice things about you, sir.
Yeah, it's hard. You know, like you, we're human beings.
Right.
And we don't like to have things cloud our judgment, right? But when you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office, and he made some terrible statements. So I don't know. It's more difficult. It makes it more. I'm being honest. It makes it more difficult to do.
But more likely a no for Combs.
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about George Santos?
Boy.
He just went away. 7 years.
You know, he was, he lied like hell. I mean, I have to tell you.
Yeah.
And I didn't know him, but he was 100% for Trump. But I didn't, I might have met him, maybe not, I don't know. But he was a congressman and his vote was solid. It sounds like a lot. He got in. You know, you could blame the other side for not checking him out.
Yeah.
He didn't do all those things that he said.
Local news missed it. Everybody missed it.
Well, you could say the media missed it. Everybody missed it. They found out about this stuff after the election was won.
Yeah, wire fraud.
So nobody's talked to me about it. So they really, they
apparently
haven't talked to me about the two. They have talked
we don't
to me
know
about
to what
Sean,
extent.
but they haven't talked to me about the two. But again, with him, I have the right to do it. Nobody's asked me.
Apparently, wire fraud at
that
identity.
He just went away.
It's a long time.
Your deputy attorney general sat down with Ghislaine Maxwell for 9 hours. I'm just wondering when the American people get to hear what she said during that interview.
Well, I don't know because I haven't spoken about it, but he's a very talented guy, Todd Blanche, and a very straight shooter.
Yeah.
And I think he probably wanted to know, just to get a feeling of it. Because we'd like to release everything, but we don't want people to get hurt that shouldn't be hurt.
Yeah.
And I would assume that was why he was there. I want to release everything. I just don't want people to get hurt. You can't have people associated. First of all, the files were run by some very bad people and very sick people like Comey and Lisa, the whole group, all those people in that office, they ran those files for 4 years.
Yeah, during
And
the Biden
if they would've used the
administration,
files,
they
they
had
would've
their
used it
hands
before
on
my
it for a
election,
while, so
because
it's like we don't know to
they're
what
stupid,
extent
which
they
to a
fucked
certain
with
extent they
anything.
are stupid.
You're saying
We
they
don't know
released
if
the
they tried to
information.
do
Well,
anything
they had the files. They
weird.
control the files. Yeah,
Right.
they control the
Also,
files.
they could have
controlled
just
the files for
right. They
4
could have
years.
released it during the
So
Biden
if they
time,
had
but they
something,
didn't.
they would have released it before the election.
I mean,
because they
he's
are
hey, given
not geniuses,
given
but,
everything,
they're
Trump is
evil.
correct on that.
There are a lot
Right.
of evil people.
So,
I
but
can't
at the same
really
time, why is
tell
it
you
taking
much
so
other than
long,
Todd
right,
went
to
in,
push?
and I
trying
think
to
he
get
just
all
wants
this
to make sure that
information out
innocent
right
people
now?
aren't hurt. But you'd have to speak to him about it.
Okay. I want to ask you about the situation with Russia, Mr. President.
Sure.
You have tried for the last 6 months to end this debacle in Ukraine that's now in calendar year number 4. Today, just moments ago on Truth Social, you announced that you ordered 2 nuclear submarines to undisclosed locations because of something provocative that was said by one of the Russians. Can you tell us how concerned you are about a possible escalation right now?
Well, a former president of Russia, who's now in charge of one of the most important councils, Medvedev, said some things that were very bad, talking about nuclear.
Medvedev, he's part
And
of
when you
the
mention word
oligarchy now.
nuclear, I say, my eyes light up, and I say, we better be careful.
In a sense,
Because
the
it's
basically
the ultimate
these
threat. Shouldn't have said it. He's got a
right places like
fresh mouth. He said
Russia,
things in the
North
past, too.
Korea,
And so
even I think
we always wanna be
even
ready.
maybe even
And so I have
China.
sent to the region.
they do somewhat
nuclear
have an
submarines. I
oligarchy,
just wanna make
right?
sure that,
There is
his
there
words
is
are only
a
words and nothing more than
very
they're
old
closer to
class of
Russia,
old
I assume.
people that have a lot of
closer
money,
to Russia, yeah,
obviously,
they're
that
closer
run
to
certain
Russia.
industries.
It's a terrible situation.
So they have those lobbies or
this,
politicians, right?
Since the beginning of the year, they've lost 20,000 Russians in this ridiculous war. They've lost 8,000
Still gotta play ball with
Ukrainians
them, right?
soldiers. Then they've also lost people in cities and towns, a lot, but not nearly numbers like that, because missiles are being shot into Kiev and other places. This is Biden's war. This is not my war. This war would have never happened. It didn't happen for 4 years. Was never even talked
as
about.
he keeps
other than
reiterating.
anything. I had conversations with Putin. It was the apple of his eye, but he wasn't going to go into Ukraine. And I will say this: that's a war.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a terrible war.
Yeah, these
The
people keep
bloodiest and deadliest in
reiterating
Europe
the same
since the
points.
Second World War. Reagan said peace through strength. I now call it peace through Trump. I think that deterrent is...
Well, we've settled a lot of wars. You take a look at what's happened just over the last little while. We've settled a lot of very beautiful wars.
I mean, we in a sense we are a
No, they
deterrent, right?
Can I just ask you, your 10-day
one of the
deadline...
wars, think of it.
Everybody wants
India,
to.
Pakistan,
Everybody wants
nuclear.
to have us do something
You
about
look at-
something, right?
Look at Cambodia.
For some
just
reason.
Recently, it looked like that was going to be another.
Right, the people in
big
fucking
war. It
Europe,
was
for
gonna
some
be a
reason,
war.
want us to
Settled
do
that
something
up.
about some shit.
Settled it up
The
with
people in
Taylor. Settled
UK
a lot
want
of
us
them
to
with
do
Taylor.
something
So
about
listen,
some
you guys are gonna
bullshit.
fight.
It's like, why?
You can fight all you want. I mean,
Fuck
just
off.
fight your hearts out, but we're not doing a trade deal. And all of a sudden, they end up not doing a war. I settled in the Congo. We settled a big one with Rwanda. It's going on for 31 years, 8 million people dead, killed. It looked like it was going to go on for another 31 years, and we settled that one. Kosovo, you know about that, with Serbia. That was going to break out. I mean, I settled a lot of wars. I think I
Yeah.
settled averaging about a war.
So basically,
a month.
Middle
But, we're
East
saving
and right
millions of
Africa.
lives. Look
Well,
what we did
mostly
with the
South
nuclear
Africa.
threat of
North
Iran.
Africa's
That
not
was
too
totally
much into
obliterated.
some
It's
shit.
Now it's been confirmed. They
Well,
like
it's
to say,
more.
well,
It's
maybe it
mainly
wasn't
South
really
Africa.
it was obliterated. It turned out they just reported today it was totally obliterated. Those pilots did some job, but we wiped out that nuclear threat.
Yeah,
We've
if
done
you
a
were
lot for
to
peace.
look at like some sort
Just
of
quickly, you
map
gave
that's
Russia, I think
color
it was like a
coded to
50-day
tell you
deadline,
what
and then you lowered that to
what
between
countries
10 and
are
12
somewhat
days.
in
That would
to
expire
like
next
conflicts. Oh
Friday.
yeah, there.
What happens
Yeah,
if
it'd be
there's
like
no
the whole
deal?
Middle East,
We'll
or
put
well, somewhat the
sanctions on,
Middle
and he's
East,
pretty good with sanctions. He knows how to
right?
avoid
Somewhat
sanctions.
South
Just you know how
Africa,
serious
somewhat,
you appear to be
and
now.
then obviously
I just want
Russia,
people to stop
Ukraine,
dying.
Yeah.
This was Biden's war. This was not
right?
my
And
war.
then
Rob.
probably
This
like
was
all the
Biden's war.
weird tribal,
It would have
indigenous
never happened.
bullcrap
And it
or
didn't happen. For
local
4 years it didn't
gang
happen. There was no
wars and stuff
discussion
like
of
that,
it.
right?
It wasn't going to happen. I told Putin, can't do it. It wasn't going to happen. And I got along with him very well. And the sad thing is, when I come in,
You got a lot
wanna
of
put
red
this
dots,
fire
man.
out, and this is the one flame,
That's
but I
all
wanna
I'm
put
trying
the
to say.
fire out. And I talked to Putin a lot.
Got a lot of marks.
I think we had a great conversation. Then I
Got
go
a lot
home
of
and
tally
I feel
points.
like I see that a bomb was dropped in Kiev.
Got a lot of
Some
statistics.
of the various cities are killing people. I say, you know, I just had this great conversation with him, and it looked like we were going to, I thought we had it worked out 3 different times. And maybe he wants to try and take the whole thing. I think it's going to be very hard for him.
Yeah, has your opinion of Putin changed just in dealing with him?
I'm surprised.
You knew him, but
I don't want to say that. Look, he's obviously a tough cookie, but so it hasn't changed in that way. But I'm surprised. We had numerous good conversations where we could have ended this thing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, bombs start flying,
Putin's ex-KGB. Yeah, obviously he's going to be a fucking tough cookie. Yeah, also, I feel like people forget yeah, a lot of the politicians you're dealing with nowadays, some of them they have nothing to do with military, right? Putin is basically the only, right, he's the only one who's ex-military. Oh, yeah. And he still rules it with a fucking iron fist, yeah.
not on the ballot this cycle, 2026. Historically, Republicans.
I mean, I guess you could say some of like the some of the.
You're not on the ballot.
I guess I should say for the the big powers.
Historically, Republicans have struggled.
Some of the
when
smaller
Donald Trump's
countries
name's
probably
not on the
have
ballot. How are you gonna
some
make
of
sure
their
Republican voters
politicians
turn
who
out
have done
in
service.
2026, just 15 months away.
It's a great compliment, right? When I'm not on the ballot, we don't do
It's
well.
the truth. It's the
but I'm going to be out campaigning and working very hard. We have
Yeah,
great
as of most
candidates.
of like the
And you know, they're saying we had the greatest 6 months
superpowers
in the
or
history
the
of the
nuclear
presidency. We have
countries.
done so much.
Barely
the
any
big,
of them
beautiful
have
bill,
done
the whole
military
thing. I mean,
stuff
everything, and that's the biggest
in
tax
terms
cuts
of
ever.
like actually been
The biggest
in rank.
regulation cuts ever. It lets people. The wait till you see the boom that this country goes through in 5 or 6 months from now, with all of the things that are happening. Car plants are getting ready to start built. They're going to be built by record numbers. The AI stuff is crazy. What's going on there? Billions and billions, trillions of dollars is being, and it's all going to start very shortly now. It's amazing. We've taken in almost $17 trillion of investments in this country, and wait till you see what happens. We're going to have a successful country like I think we've never had before.
Your administration has been very open about the fact that American women are not having enough babies. We know that you addressed this.
Is he gonna?
There was an
She's
ad
talking
this week.
about
Sydney
the.
Sweeney, an actress, was in an ad for Blue Jeans.
Yeah.
The ad is doing very
Are
well.
they gonna?
It's
Is
very
he gonna
popular.
make some
The jeans are sold
policy
out.
to try
Does
and get
America
people
need
to
see
make
more
babies?
ads like that, and maybe fewer ads with people like Dylan Mulvaney on the cover.
We will give you
Well,
a
I think the Dylan
Trump
Mulvaney
bank
ad
account
was
if you try and
perhaps
make a
the
baby.
most unsuccessful ad in history.
We will give
It
you
knocked
$10,000.
$35 billion off
Please.
the value of a certain company.
Up
You
to
know what I'm talking about.
$10,000.
That was one of the
Please
great
enter into
disasters
this
of all
program.
time. I would say it's probably the most unsuccessful ad, worst ad ever. You know, advertising's a very funny thing. I've done ads where I thought they were lousy and they turned out to be iconic, and then I've done some that I thought were beauties.
Oh yeah, Trump
fantastic,
should
and they
know.
weren't so
He
good.
did a lot of ads.
So to each his own. But the Dylan Mulvaney ad was a total disaster.
He's very open about wanting an expedited deposition for
He's
Rupert
talking
Murdoch.
about the
This is somebody
fucking
that you were
Bud
close with, and this is the Wall Street Journal Epstein case. Do you think, maybe the better question is, why do you think the Journal is attacking you
honestly,
like
that was
Well,
probably
it's
one
funny
of the
because the New
worst.
York Post has been terrific.
Just
have
in
a
terms
really
of
good
just
man.
the
Keith Poole
backlash.
runs it, and they've been great. The Wall Street Journal has been terrible. They've been so bad. It's like a gossip page. It's like it's not the Wall
Yeah,
Street Journal. It's gossip.
Yeah, that's what
And when they
yeah.
write
I
things
mean, that's what
wrong, I feel
CNN
I
is
have to
too,
protect
right?
myself. I have to
MSNBC.
protect
They
my
all
voters. I have to
gossip.
protect MAGA.
The View.
And if I don't do it, I wouldn't.
They
be
all
leading.
talk
I wouldn't
about
be-
rumors.
Frankly, I wouldn't be
And
president.
they all
I
talk
wouldn't-
about
Who
bullshit.
knows what would have
They don't
happened
even
if I
talk
didn't
about
fight
anything
back. I mean, they were.
of
It turned out to be
substance.
a whole phony thing. The Russia.
They just
hoax.
say,
And many other
"Oh,
hoaxes,
Trump
too.
is evil.
That was just an offshoot.
He's part of
But,
Russia. He's
many other
helping
hoaxes.
Russia."
And so
All
I feel
Trump's
I have to
fault.
protect myself.
Trump did that. Trump
Wall
did
Street
that.
Journal, I find to be very, very dishonest. As it
The
pertains to
boogeyman
me.
Trump. Alright. I think that's it, right? Yeah, honestly, we literally need to get back to advertisement that's... I don't want to say... I don't want to be mean, but like, right, the Calvin Klein stuff, when they started moving away from, right, putting actual models in, and just literally got like everyday people to model for themselves, right, it was like, why did you do this? Because before, you guys were actually a brand about, right, fashion. Now some of these brands have moved away from basically fashion, right, in a sense. They don't want you looking healthy anymore. They basically want you looking, I guess, unhealthy. To be fucking polite, right? Unhealthy. They don't want you looking fat. They don't want you looking like a hog. Or, well, they want you looking like a hog now. But you should not want to be looking like a hog, because it's not healthy. Right? You see some of those fucking influencers that got at like 40-ish. Like, yeah, no, those fat influencers. Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all. Not only that, but sometimes even in their 30s, that you guys have, right? These people have health problems. Right? I'm skinny as fuck, and I already have health problems. So it's like, yeah. Hey, man, health problems can strike at any point in time. Alright. So yeah, there you have it. Be healthy. Don't be stagnant, right? Don't stay in your filth. Promote healthiness, yes? Make America healthy again. Anyways, there you have it. If you want to also check out Newsmax and right, check out more, they're mainly a news channel, right? You can see them Newsmax is, I guess you can kind of say center, right? They obviously kind of play both sides, right? So you can kind of say they're center. Anyways, there you have it.